Zombies Year 92 Part 9 Clocktime. Chronicle of 100 Years. About the Dirty Four Zeta. Each of them took their role seriously, and there was always room for a little bit of humor ending in high morale. The Walkman team now faces new options. The team of the Walkman was in OPERATIVE position. Sean, simulating his dark voice, always managed to bring a smile to his companions, even in the most difficult moments. Sean, imposing a voice filled with a dark tone, asked, "Are you warning me that he's passing through?" And added the mysterious diary. "Don't be shy, that's ancient history." "But," said Anika, "the possibility that Eden still exists and represents a real threat is something we should not ignore. The only reference says, North, Commentary. You have to read everything and review every detail to propose it for exploration mission." Sean, what a curious thing. That could lead us to discover who knows what almost a century ago. Edie, Sean, and Anika had deployed in the security perimeter with the Bravo and Charlie teams while the mechanics, the MECS, disassembling systems to recondition them, finished selecting the elements with the highest priority to remove on the first trip. Every resource is valuable and reuse is a necessity. Everyone taking their role seriously and a little bit of humor to ease the gravity of their situation. Anika said, while they covered the MECS approach to return, "Remember, it could be a real threat. I insist on the need to review every detail before proposing a new exploration mission." Said Edie, always meticulous, the reference to NORTH aroused everyone's curiosity. Meanwhile, the Bravo and Charlie teams, together with the MECS, were already embarking on the march. That night at the diner, the guys were enjoying a luxurious dinner, with family and friends congratulating themselves on the cooking of materials, tools and what they called GATLINGS, and the enormous amount of CARTUCHES associated, many of whose vines and almost every projectile could be recycled. At a nearby table, Edie and Sean, accompanied by Anika and Donnie, a newly transferred to the team, excused that justified a welcome dinner, where they spent a small fortune of 300 powder to devour smoked fish, chili peppers and drink distilled potatoes until gaining a dizziness. Edie, Anika, and Sean had relaxed more than usual, and she could no longer, with her genius. Tomorrow at the first hour we escort the guys to the old airport. If the Zetas want to bite their fat ass, black and dirty, and they are already finished with the recovery of materials, and there we continue with ours, making an exaggerated kick to Anika but to see it DONNY. That put a face of surprise. And Anika very gently replied to her, "Our will be my boots on your back." "Why are you excited by the action?" "Sure so. As if you'd seen some action that didn't include your hand." "The RODEE, he said to Donnie, mantras making a gesture as if he'd go up and down, a fist half closing repeatedly, causing Donnie and Edie to burst into cracks. When Edie cleared his breath, he said, "Anika, we are in public." And Anika remained silent and with a gesture of surprise when she noticed that a lot of people were watching her and the other three, again bursting in shells. "Anika, you always know how to animate the party," said Edie, still laughing. "Someone has to keep them on track," answered Anika, whispering. Johnny, smiling, "So Spirit, you're definitely the right one for that." And Sean, lifting up his glass, said, "By Anika, our brave and bold watchwoman." Everybody lifted up their glasses for Anika. Anika, laughter. "Enough, boys. We have a big day tomorrow. We'd better get some rest." "Edie, you are right, Anika. Good night, everybody." Johnny, "Good night, team. See you tomorrow." Sean, "Good night. Tomorrow will be another day for kicking ass Zetas." At midnight the next morning, in the old ruined hangars, the men, with their usual efficiency, were finishing the loading and securing of the vehicles, preparing for the return journey. In the quietness of the place, Anika and Donnie began to smell a rancid smell as the breeze changed. Edie, noticing a change in Anika's expression, scrutinized the surroundings and discovered a lonely figure. A wanderer, Edie gave the alarm with a single word, ZETAS. Anika, Johnny, and Sean got on alert. Then, from behind a rubble, came another walker, and behind another. Dozens of them emerged from among the ruins of the airport, their ominous silhouettes, confused with the discolored ruins. As the men, frightened, climbed into the vehicles and went out accelerating, Edie with Annika, Sean and a tense Donnie, covered the retreat riding one at a time in his vehicle, generating a distraction, attracting the walkers in another direction. After moving away from the walkers, Edie, Annika, Sean, and Donnie headed to the ruins of an old shopping mall about 5 miles from the old town that they had seen in a previous exploration. They knew it was a relatively safe place where they could take refuge during the NIGHT. They found a quiet place in the old appliance store. It was silent, its empty shops and its dark corridors. But it offered a safe haven from dangers. ZETA, the LUGAR, would serve as a temporary CAMP, where they settled between the rows of refrigerators and washing machines abandoned. They lit a small fire to warm up and cook a quick meal, always attentive to any details. As they were there, in the midst of the ruins, they began to plan their next move. They knew they needed to find an alternative route to return.